Alright, Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, CT bishops, the great millstone, who rule well, taught me his truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim, preaching his word of truth and sincerity around the four corners. You know, like Elder Malcolm would be saying, risking their lives and freedom to do so. You know, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that live amongst the heathen, that look like the heathen. You know, this is not a black thing. This is an Israelite thing. So shalom to the speckled bird. And shalom to the Akim and the few Aquath, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. And I wanted to speak about, you know, even though it's already passed, you know, Labor Day weekend. You know, it was it's really a holiday of folly, you know. And how would you put it? People don't realize that that they're celebrating nothing. You know, around this time, when I say people, I'm talking about our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, people grilled that day. You know, to the men of the Lord, it's just another day off. You know, nothing spectacular. And you know, Folly happened during that weekend period, and I got a news article substantiating that. And forgive me, I know it's late, but it's better late than never. And I actually remembered this article and to do the epistle, so that's how I'm doing it. Just read a little bit of the article, hit a couple of precepts, and Lord's willingness to be edifying. You know, we need Yahweh Shai to return ASAP. So we don't have to, how do you put it? So we don't have to bear the sight of these 2/3. You know, they celebrate all of these demonic holidays. They still reverence that other white meat, JC, Jesus Christos. They refuse to accept Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai into their hearts. But then, you know, that's because the Most High has blinded them. So it's all good. As a matter of fact, how do you put it? As a matter of fact, even if you wanted to save the non-elect, you can't, because they're already fitted for destruction. But anyway, let me stop rambling on. Let me get to the article. Alright, this is from ABC News. And as you can see, it says 58 banged over Labor Day weekend in Chicago as governor rejects Trump threat to send National Guard. And then the title says it all. Niggas and bitches got shot over the weekend in Chicago. And I'm sure something like this happened in other cities like New York, like Baltimore, Houston, Miami, just to name a few. Atlanta, Detroit. Just to name a few. Let's read a little bit of this. It says at least 58 people have been shot, 8 fatally. So 8 people got deleted. And then the rest are injured, I believe. Across Chicago over Labor Day weekend, including a drive-by attack that left 7 victims wounded, according to police. It says the violent holiday weekend came as President Donald Trump renewed threats to send federal agents and National Guard troops to Chicago over the objections of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. So, Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Jake can't even enjoy the heathens holidays. So they won't be able to enjoy their own holidays, like Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Weeks, Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Passover, Day of Atonement. A nigga won't fast for shit. You gotta eat like every 2-3 hours. Now, let me get a couple of scriptures. First, let me get the one I quoted. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 6, and it reads, "Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place." Yeah, folly is set in great dignity. People getting shot over Labor Day weekend is just a prime example of that. People get shot every day, but especially on these demonic ass holidays. These demonic ass folly days. And you gotta understand, and it's in Chicago. I believe Chicago is predominantly Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And you have a mixture of all 12 tribes in there. Like Elder Malcolm would be saying, Chicago is just like New York. It was just like Rome back in the day. It was a melting pot of different nations. There's the book of Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. I haven't read this in a while, but it suits this article, this topic. It says, "For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children." And sottish means stupid. "They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." You see, so this is the Heavenly Father talking through the prophet Jeremiah, saying that his people are stupid. Jake is wise to do evil. Jake could teach you how to cook a brick, could teach you how to sell it, could teach you how to scam, could teach you how to, make ghost guns, could teach you how to steal a car, but they can't teach you how to do righteousness, because our people have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. That's Jeremiah the 5th, the next chapter. Let me get a quick precept. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 1 verse 4. It says, "Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward." Yeah, our people are done. Like the elder bro, Amawanga Barbie saying that our people are lost in the sauce, too far in the jar. There's no saving them. There's no rehabilitating majority of our people, and that's just the truth. They are stuck in their devilish, evil, demonic ways, and the only way to rid them of these evil spirits on them is to purge them. You know, you got to call them, CULL. You know, look it up if you don't know what it means. You really have to reboot our people, and they'll get it right when they're reborn again in the kingdom. I just pray and hope that I'm not one of those people. Like Elder Malcolm will be saying, I don't want to be a nutsack Israelite. I want to make it on the first go around. So that's why that's why I try to show diligence to get my calling, to make my calling and election sure. You know. There's too much violence, man, amongst our own people, and that's biblical. Jacob is quick to kill his own kind, but when it comes to these heathen nations, and especially when it comes to Esau, Jake is the most nicest person you'll ever meet, and it shouldn't be like that. But of course, you know, the Heavenly Father set it up the way He wanted it, so it's clear cut that you can identify the biblical Israelites. Salakia. You know, it's crystal clear. All you gotta do is follow the curses and who it fits. This is how we know that them small hats, them gutter rat small hats, over there in our homeland are perpetrating and falsely calling themselves the true children. And when they don't even follow the law, statutes, and commandments. This is the book of Hosea chapter 4 verse 1, and it reads, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land." Yeah, and this is talking about Babylon, the snake. The Lord has a controversy. And I believe when you look up the word controversy, it means like a dispute, or you know, a beef. The Lord has a beef with the nation, with the inhabitants of the land, with his people, because they won't acknowledge Him as being the supreme being. The majority of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they don't acknowledge the Most High Yahweh and His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai as being the supreme beings, the two most powerful beings on the planet, in the universe, and in all of existence. In verse 2, it says, "By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood." Yeah, this is what our people do. This is what our people are. All of these things I just named, our people are heavy in it. Our people are masters at work when it comes to these things. Swearing, lying, bearing false witness is swearing, you know, like swearing. Lying, bearing false witness, killing. It tells you in the scriptures, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit murder. Stealing, thou shalt not steal. And these are basic commandments. Committing adultery, that you know, Jake is so heavy into that, especially in my opinion, I would say especially the Southern Kingdom. Not saying that the Northern Kingdom doesn't do it. The Northern Kingdom does it, but as far as adultery, Southern Kingdom be taking the crown. You know, got that song "Me and Mrs. Jones," and you know, you in the world when you hear that song, it sounds good. But then when you come into the truth, or if the Lord wakes you up and you hear that song again, you realize that it's a foul. That's a foul ass song. Talking about the guy singing about me and Mrs. Jones. Dude committing adultery with a woman. Salakia. Dude committing adultery with a woman and making a song about it. This is why 2/3 of our people have to go. Because of shit like this. But anyway, I ain't gonna make this too long. Till next time, shalom to the elect.